Ben's Record Collection. This is a show where I talk about records that I own, and this is one that I'm going to talk about today from my collection. It's a warm one today. It's November. So there was this TV show that I learned about in the mid-aughts on BBC, you may have heard of, called The Mighty Boosh. It was pretty funny, and there's a lot of funny bits, and I feel like I can't be the only person that the show turned on to Tusk. They do. Actually, there are 2 Tusk references on that show in different episodes. I think one is first season, where one of the characters goes up to what's his name, Naboo? I'm sorry if I'm getting the name wrong. One of the characters goes up to Naboo, who's listening to like his Walkman, and he goes, "Oh, you're listening to Fleetwood Mac. Ah, rumors. No, Tusk." That's the exchange they had. Anyway, Tusk was kind of a running joke, but I gotta say, look it up, search Fleetwood Mac, Tusk. You may or may not laugh. Not my business, not my place. Anyway, so I bought Tusk. There's a sticker on here that says $8.40. I believe I paid $1 for this. It was in the section of this big old record store that was called Vinyl Cave in Wisconsin. And I'll let you hear the beautiful sound of my voice. And they had this huge row of records that's all older ones, slightly worn, and so it didn't have as much value. This double album, as far as I can tell, is in great shape. Maybe some minor scratches and stuff, but nothing major. It doesn't really affect playability, not to my ears. I'm not a snob about sound. I don't even care if it's a little scratched up. Pops, hisses, whatever. Generally not a big deal to me. I think at the time, this came out in like 1979, or what's the copyright say? Yeah. And I think at the time that this was made, it was the most expensive album ever made. They were doing a ton of drugs, and like punk was already in full swing, probably had been for a while. And this was their follow-up to Rumors, which, had been huge in '77. And they're like kings and queens, they're on top of the world, biggest band. And they take all this money and time to, some of the songs are like purposely crappy sounding, like I think Lindsey Buckingham was listening to punk or something. And there's a song that we need to hear. This is one of my favorites. That's All for Everyone. It was covered by Tame Impala, and his version is pretty good too. What was I saying? Oh yeah, expensive follow-up to Tusk. I'm pretty sure that people went out and bought the follow-up to Rumors because they're like, it made fans of many people. They get Tusk, they bring it home and they listen to it and they're like, what? Like this song, pretty trippy. Oh, another fun factoid. The band, I think it was Camper Van Beethoven, or was it Cracker? One of that guy's bands. When they came back from a hiatus, they did a track-by-track cover of Tusk in its entirety, with the pauses, the way Lindsey Buckingham intended it to be. because it's Fleetwood Mac, they had these 3 songwriters in the band, and they all kind of had different styles, so it basically sounds like a compilation, because Christine McVie's songs sound like her songs, Stevie's songs sound like Stevie's songs, Lindsay's songs sound like Lindsay's songs, although they were kind of weird on this one. They did copious amounts of cocaine because they were rock stars and because they could afford it, and then they did, and then this album came out. You know what? It's actually a pretty good record. I'm serious. Produced by Fleetwood Mac, special thanks to Lindsey Buckingham. With Richard Dashwood and Ken Kelly. I'm gonna look at the tracks here and note a couple of them. Over and Over, I think, was a good choice of a song to start with. Each songwriter sings their own songs, and this is a slower Christine McVie song. And I think it was just kind of a nice opener, kind of eases into it. And then track 2, The Ledge, full-on weirdness. It's a Lindsey Buckingham song. Where it goes into then Think About Me, which is a little more of also a Lindsey Buckingham song, I believe, but a little more of like a mid-paced rock song, a little more normal. Save Me a Place, very moody. Sarah is I think the first of the Stevie Nicks songs on the album, in order of the track listing anyway. And it's, I'm going to flip the record over. No, I'm not. I like this. Stevie Nicks songs are so unremarkable. Certainly the case for the ones on this album. I've listened to this album a lot. And of the other ones I've heard of hers too. I haven't heard all of her songs, alright? So you can call me ignorant because I haven't heard this, the solo albums, or, I haven't heard everything she's done. There's even A Broken Clock is right twice a day. There's bound to be some good ones. This album. But yeah, her songs, unremarkable, slow, and long. Musically very simple, maybe that's my beef. Sarah, I guess, is about Stevie Nicks' best friend who had an affair with Mick Fleetwood after Stevie did. Sisters of the Moon and end of side 2, record 2, side B. That one I kind of like, but also slow and long and boring. All of hers are. Angel, that starts side 3. I can only say the same thing about every Stevie Nicks song. Long and slow. Brown Eyes is long and slow though, and that's probably a Christine McVie song. They're sticking note there. Honey High, very much a throwaway song. I can say that because Christine McVie is tot. She can't hear me insult her. She's dead, it's over. And so it's okay for me to speak ill now that she's passed away. Honey High, what were you thinking? Beautiful Child. Another painfully slow Stevie song. Oh my god. So slow. Tusk. The song Tusk, that might be the most famous song on the album. Has this marching band on it. Oh, the USC Trojan marching band. They went out there to the football stadium or something and recorded the marching band. And Tusk is a cool song. I think Jared likes Tusk, the song. I think there's a lot of good stuff on this album. And at $1 or 50 cents, whatever it was I paid for it, worth the price. That's not a gatefold. I guess they couldn't put their money towards that part of it, huh? Show you a little bit of the artwork, just give you a peek. Yeah. So, don't do drugs or you might end up making Tusk and making millions of dollars.